Happy Wednesday. You're watching our Facebook 5 and 5. That's 5 questions in 5 minutes, powered by Social Vibe Marketing. And I'm Jessica Ravelli, founder of Working Women of Tampa Bay and the Working Women Foundation. And I'm so grateful to have one of our members and a phenomenal role model for us up in the Pinellas County area, Betsey Herd, with us to share a little bit about her and her business. So, Betsy, just start with, what do you do?
Hi, I'm Betsey Herd, and I am the managing partner with Morgan Stern and Herd. We're a law firm based out of the Tampa Bay area, have cases all over the state. We specialize in any injury matter, catastrophic injuries, smaller injuries sometimes, but where an individual has been injured through no fault of their own.
So jump into that a little bit more. Tell us about your specialty and what kind of law you practice and who out there can be helped by your services.
Sure. So I actually have a master's degree in cardiovascular physiology, and I worked in the healthcare industry primarily in Tennessee and surrounding areas in healthcare as a clinical manager for 9 years before I went to law school. Went to law school up in Tennessee, and that helps in our cases where we specialize in reviewing a matter to see if a healthcare provider has deviated the standard of care. We also specialize in trucking cases where there are catastrophic injuries generally, because when you have a commercial vehicle, it weighs so much
Mhm.
more. If that commercial driver has committed a wrong and contributed to causing the accident, we use our medical background. My former partner, who has retired, is an engineer, but he still works with us on those type of cases. So those are the kinds of things that we specialize in.
Okay. And so we've all heard kind of the typical stereotype about personal injury attorneys. Share a little bit about what you do to kind of combat that stereotype.
Yes. So we always hear, and you hear about it in particular in two ways, I think. You hear about the ambulance chasers in the automobile kind of industry. You also hear about frivolous malpractice cases in medical malpractice. So, one of the things that we do is we utilize our background to, and I actually started out on the defense side. So, coming out of the medical industry, felt that my true fit would be defending healthcare
Mm.
providers. I- when that happens, you don't choose your clients, but as a claimant attorney, we get to evaluate the case. We get to look at whether or not there's a deviation from the standard of care. And I can start that process and then go to an expert to look at it to get the expert opinion, which I have to have to move forward. On injury matters, it's a very complex type of case where you have to deal with insurance, and it's such a burden on people when they're involved in an automobile accident. Sometimes we're able to give free advice where the injuries are not catastrophic, they're not permanent. We can tell somebody what to do over the telephone. And those cases where it's more complicated, we move forward. So we have a very thorough vetting process so that we're trying to help combat some of that image that injury lawyers have.
Okay. So if I have been in an accident or I've experienced medical malpractice, what do you think the first steps are to reaching out to, an attorney like you?
Well, I think the first thing you have to do is make sure that you're getting the appropriate medical care if you've been injured. That's number one. And then once that has been established so that you're stable, your healthcare is stable, you know where you are on that, then you can reach out by telephone or by email. We have a website that allows us to have live chats. Those come to our phones directly. So you're always conversing with an attorney who's going to guide you in the right steps so that you know what steps to take first and you're not doing things that will prevent you from being able to make a legitimate claim.
Yeah, that's really great advice. Speaking of advice, our last question is always, what piece of advice do you have for women in business?
Well, in my industry, we're a minority, women are, but I find in the courtroom that it's very valuable to be a woman because juries And people in general will accept things from women that male attorneys aren't able to do. So you have to always be yourself and follow your dream and set your goals and follow your goals.
That is some fabulous advice. Betsy, thank you for joining us today for our
Thanks for
Facebook
having
5
me.
and 5. Thank you for being such a fabulous member. And thank you for being a resource in our community for when, no one wants to be in an accident, and no one obviously wants to be in the hospital, but to know that there are women out there like you that are protecting us, makes me feel safer. So thank you.
Thank you, Jessica.
Have a good one. We'll see you
You
soon,
too.
guys. Bye.